So, what might we say we have been focused on this week? Well, justice, right? Social justice. In fact, here we are in spring of 2018, and at Azusa Pacific University, one of the hallmark passages that we have been looking at, biblical passages we've been looking at as a community, is Micah chapter 6, verse 8. He has shown you, O human, what the Lord requires of you. What is that? But to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. So when we talk about social justice here, when we talk about justice in the New Testament, when we talk about social justice within a nursing context, I think we're entirely consistent with what the prophet Micah and certainly other prophets in the Hebrew Bible are focused on, and that's that God's justice would reign in this sphere. And we all know of cases, maybe we've been subjected to them, where justice did not seem to win out. Justice not by what is right anyway, but justice based on who's got the most funds to buy the best lawyers. And I have friends that are attorneys. I'm not faulting them. It's just sometimes we see it, that the best justice goes to those that can pay for it. That's not justice. Not in my book anyway. So justice is something that I think God brings to the equation, and we as human beings who are recipients of and participators in the Imago Dei, the image of God, it is up to us to in some ways embody the prayer of Jesus, as in heaven, so on earth. Let your kingdom come, let your will be done. And what would God's will be? God's will would be justice. Some of us are more up close and personal in those fights. Some of us are sitting in offices and writing or recording lectures and hopefully impacting students as they do their work. If justice doesn't exist, we have to create it, or we have to create space for it. And that's something that I think I get a lot from Fowler this week. As I was just preparing and writing down some thoughts, I thought, it's not just a matter of looking at the Bible or looking at an ethics text or any other kind of text, and saying, well, this is what it should be, but it's not, so I give up. No, I think it's up to us. Coming back to that prescriptive, descriptive kind of conversation about the Bible, I think it's up to us to create the space for justice. If justice doesn't exist and we can right the wrong, then we right the wrong. But if all we can do is create the space for justice to happen in the future, then we do that. And we play our part. How does nursing do that? I can't answer that question as well as you can. What's your role to play in creating space for justice? How does the text from the Bible inform that process? How does the conversation with someone who has spent a good bit of his life studying these texts, how does that inform that process? How does the Bible inform that process even if you're not a person of practicing Christian or Jewish faith? I think these texts are wonderful texts. I think they make us think as we place ourselves right in them. How do I process that? How, if I'm not a person of faith, how do I glean value from these texts? These are all questions that I hope we've had a chance to think about, ruminate on, and not just go through fulfilling a class requirement, but being able to articulate a bit more reflectively how this particular discipline intersects with your discipline and the value that we share together in that process. It's been a pleasure having you in class, and I look forward to seeing you walk across the stage, graduating with your Bachelor of Science in Nursing.